Let's see.
Gentlemen.
Welcome. I don't have a link yet. You got a link? We got a link yet?
You talking about the YouTube?
Yeah.
Chilla.
Okay, we're up.
Yeah, we are.
That's what's
We're
up.
up. All right, so if y'all want to share it out to somebody, you can grab the link. Y'all know how to grab the link?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
I already shared.
So go ahead, Chris.
I said I already shared the link. It's already out, man.
That ain't the link for the show, though.
You
shared
sure?
the wrong link.
Yeah, you can grab it now and share it.
Yeah, you have to grab it. You got to wait till the... Oh, he already grabbed it because it was already up there.
Yeah, it was already up there. Because
Yeah.
even Dion said, man, 2 minutes. When I sent it to him, it was out there. And I'm looking at the TV and it popped up the same link. I'm hitting it on my phone.
No. You good.
Hey, so how everybody weekend? How was everybody weekend?
How's everybody weekend?
Sean?
Chris, you doing how to talk? I thought
Restful.
Chris was gonna go.
Restful. What about yours? What about yours, Big? How was your weekend?
Man, I always, whenever somebody asks me that, it don't matter from kindergarten to being an adult, I always got to process that thought and think about it. This weekend was good. Did something. I don't know if y'all heard of the Savannah Bananas.
Nah.
Have y'all heard of them?
Yeah.
I know Chris, you heard about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a baseball team. Well, it's a baseball league. They got 3 teams, and they're kind of like set up like the closest thing I can compare it to is gonna be like the Globetrotters. Because what they do is they play baseball. It is a game going on, but they do trick plays and they dance, in between. I mean, it's a lot going on. And when I tell you, man, sensory overload, that's the best description I can give you, because from the time we got in the gate and sat down, it never slowed down.
That's pretty cool, though, actually.
It was a great, man. It's an experience I think everybody should experience at least once.
Yeah, I think that's cool because for me, baseball is a slow-moving sport, meaning as far as action. I mean, there's always something going on, but the excitement piece is what I'm talking about. Like, it's slow pace. So to have something like that would be pretty interesting.
I wouldn't
mind seeing something like that.
Oops! How about I put the thing in the wrong daggone? It was still there. My bad. All right, so the link to actually get in. So anybody watching, if you've got a question or comment, you want to try to join the stream, hit the link. Be somewhere sitting still with a light on, with your camera on, so we can see you. And if you got a question or comment, we will let you come on up.
No doubt.
As long as
Let me add. Well, this is just a food question. Were you able to cop the chicken of the wood?
I wasn't, not over the weekend. And I know she's closed on Sunday and Monday, right?
Exactly.
So she still got some. I mean, I'll probably stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Chris, did you get some? Okay. Raymond, why don't you explain what that is? Because people, you're like, what is he talking about? Chicken of the wood?
Chicken of the wood is a mushroom. That's for us. For us vegan types that if we as a meat alternative, and we like to, feast on that one in particular because it has a meaty and texture and pull just like breast chicken. I know that Siobhan, shout out to Siobhan at Desmond's Islands, Soul Island Grill, if I said the name right, because she is one of the ones that has brought that out to the masses. So shout out to her. But it's good tasting meat.
Like Dion actually got some.
Like I said, he advertised it real good. It's man, it tastes like chicken. That's how you supposed to say it. It tastes like chicken. If you want a mushroom and you don't believe that vegan food tastes like chicken, get you some chicken of the wood. It tastes like chicken.
So Chris, how do they prepare it? Like how is it fried? Is
you
it
can
hot?
fry, you can chop it up as barbecue. I think at this one, if I'm not so sure because I didn't get it, but from what I heard, Sawan from Desmond, she made it like jerk chicken, and everybody said it was well, it was sold out. It was sold out quick. It was so many orders. It was gone. It was gone even before before Raymond got there. It was already gone. So by the time I heard the word, it was over with. It was already sold out, but it takes
So it's pretty legit.
Yeah.
I guess Shine, you know, show it off.
Look, Dion put up there. If you read what Dion put up there, it was a missile.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, he did.
I see that.
So yeah,
you know, it's always interesting to see different variations of plant-based meat. I know for me, I used to love buffalo wings. So, you know, I've been on this hunt to kind of find something that's plant-based that gives me a similar feel. I know the thing I want to try soon is they got the heart of palms, which would, you know, I mean, you can make that taste like fish or you can make it taste like chicken. And there's one other thing that I wanted to try. I can't think of it right now, but there's a few. I know I've done a few things. Well, I'm not gonna say I've done a few things. I know the wife has done a few things with mushrooms, and they're pretty tasty. And I've had different variations of mushrooms, and it was pretty tasty. But you know, I heard you talking about the chicken of the wood. This is like maybe the third or fourth time I heard you talking about it. So I'll be real interested to see how it tastes.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Chris described it well. So.
No, it honestly it tastes good. I mean, for real. I had much vegan food I have eaten. I will put it like the chicken of the woods on the top. It tastes like chicken. You can make oyster mushrooms taste like chicken, and certain things you can freak, like maybe, you know, lion's mane and stuff like that, make it taste like certain stuff. But that chicken of the wood, you ain't got to do too much of that. It tastes like chicken.
Barbecue it, fry it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's gonna taste.
And it's only available during a certain season, correct?
Yeah, between August and around the mid September, I think.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
So Shine, since you know a little bit more than the rest of the crew, is it pretty costly?
Now I never bought it myself because, like I said, it's it only comes out at a certain time of year, and then, you know, some people they get the heads up on it, and I haven't been in the loop to get the heads on it. So if someone does out in, you know, in the land here that has a hookup to that, I'll be more than welcome to get that information.
Nah, I got you. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm ready to check it out. I wonder how she's gonna do it. Did she say? Did she talk about how she's gonna do it in the menu?
Well, I mean, the last time, when we went up there the other day, it was jerked. She jerked it, so, you know, and it was good. But I like the way she filleted it, like I say, a piece of breast. So it was good. I like how she did it like that.
What up? Shout out to Victory for Hip Hop, 3 States Below, and Kenneth Hutton. What's up? What's up, y'all?
What's up, Ken? What it is?
What's up? What's up, bruh?
What's up?
What it
So
is?
yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I know the way she prepares the food, she makes it where you feel like you're eating, you know, meat or meat product. You know, I mean, it makes it similar. It makes it feel familiar to.
Yeah.
I hate to say regular food because, you know, plants is food.
I mean, she makes it heartier. She makes her food taste hearty, and that's one of the things. Yeah, that's one of the things that people enjoy, just that hearty soul food. I mean, she had. I don't want to say Jamaican is for her because I'm giving her a whole lot of props right now. But
Right.
she, you know, she has that. She's Guyanese or got Guyanese descent, so she has that Guyanese flavor that she puts to it. So,
Okay.
I won't
Okay.
say
we're just gonna say a Caribbean restaurant. How about that?
Yeah, it's Caribbean, but she, her it is all vegan. I mean, I was in there one time and she had
a guy from Africa.
They had some vegan
I
ice cream.
I got you, but it's Caribbean. I mean, she can be from there, but she serves Caribbean dishes, though. If you think about it. Huh?
Yeah. So, I guess the question at hand tonight, right? We're talking about the chicken of the wood. Raymond described what that was. There was a conversation that I was having with somebody earlier this week. And dang it, bear with me, y'all. And he asked, hold on. Okay. This was the question or the conversation point was, did y'all hear that?
Yeah, we heard it.
What was that?
I don't know.
Probably in here, man. I got a sensor.
Yeah.
There's a sensor when I move around in here. It's beep like that. You heard.
So go. Yeah, go
Keep
ahead.
it rolling, bro.
You get distracted very easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, stay focused, man. Stay focused. We live. Stay focused.
Right.
Go ahead.
We live, Raymond. Your eyes look heavy.
Ain't no retake. This is live. Stay focused.
Let's keep it
rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's go.
I'm with y'all.
You say we're ready. We're ready to roll.
Right, I got you. So the question at hand is, how important is working as a team in a relationship and accomplishing goals together?
Man, I mean, that's a great question.
Are we talking about men or women, or are we talking about?
We're talking about both.
Because
it take a man and a woman in a relationship. So we're talking about both.
I think it's very essential in a relationship, and I mean, it's hard enough to get things done with a group of people, and then you bring two people together. If they don't work together as a team, how do you accomplish anything?
Well, no, I mean, that's valuable information. I mean, I get what you're saying. Anybody got something else to add to that?
Well, I mean, if you talk about a team, it's hard because we all have different objectives to come into what we want to do in the group together. So you're dealing with different personalities, and everybody's trying to get their this goal or want out. And if we all trying to get it out at the same time, that's where you clash in that. But if you can understand that, hey, we all working for the same objective, then we all can be willing to just talk it out and work out a roadmap to where we can all accomplish all our wants at the same time.
So who should lead this? Chris.
Who should lead this? Y'all, man. I mean, you said lead. I mean, it's funny because my mind shifted somewhere else. I looked over there for a second when we even started this conversation. I know we were talking about relationships, but I looked at it, even if it working, man. I had a situation at work, you know what I'm saying, that I'm trying to put my best effort in helping this building, and me and the person didn't see eye to eye, even though, they felt like I was part of their property, and I feel like I'm not your property. Like Derek said, that word boss, man. I was awakened from that word boss, so it's my colleague now, and I use boss more like, oh, yes, up, boss, who's slave, like you were saying, and I'm more like a colleague. So it's like when a person, but I just want to say this: when a person you work for, anything like you say, you working as a team, and they come with this way of telling you, no matter what goes on, I really don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care about this. I don't care. I really don't care, and they want you to be okay. So whatever you got going on, I don't care. And when you do that with me, who I don't give a rat's tail who you is, it put me back in that energy. If you don't care, I don't care. It's like it takes both of us to come together. So if you can push that energy, you don't care, I'm gonna push that energy, I don't care. And that energy right there gonna make me don't do nothing. So it's like even in a relationship, you can't have a relationship with one person putting everything in and the other person want to be a part-time put in. You need both of y'all to build together to create anything. I mean, that's how the thing's supposed to be. It's like a robot. You talking about you the head and the woman the neck. If the neck ain't moving, you can't turn your head. You can get bust upside your head if it ain't gonna turn. You need
Right.
both to be in alignment. And see, that's the problem with the people. We need to be in alignment together. It's not about fussing or fighting. And we at an age right now, money has been the problem that break up a lot of relationships because everything's about money. If it ain't money, and money is a disease. It's just like cancer. Money is nothing but a tool, and I keep sharing this over and over. Money is nothing but a tool. Don't worship it. It's not a god. It can't walk and talk to you. It's just a piece of paper with a racist face on it. It's just some currency. It's just something you use to live in this world. Money don't have no power. You give money power. But we in this illusion. But went back to relationships. It's about unity, man. All us got to be on the same accord. We got to be eye to eye, think the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's not about trying to dictate or control everything, but sometimes it takes somebody to be a leader.
So let me go back. Let me go back. I want to bring content to the viewers about the word boss. We talked about this on the phone, and I just want to review. I'm going to bring it full circle with everything Chris is talking about with relationship. But let's just go back to boss. I hear that a lot, and that's just something that simply does not exist. A boss has not existed since slavery. People say that my boss this, my boss. You don't have a boss. Trust and understand. No one in the year of 2024 has a boss. It does not exist. And if you believe that, that's the wrong frame of mind. Because if you have a boss, that means they control you. Now, most of us that are in the working world and we work for a corporation, we have a supervisor, we have upper management, but we don't have a boss. Now, when you come to relationships, they always talk about, who leads in the relationship. And the funny thing with that word is a woman will say the man should lead, right? But a lot of times, some women, I'm going to say all women, don't give men the capacity to lead. And what I mean by that is, how can you allow a man to lead if you don't trust him?
Well, the best question is why you with him if you don't trust him. But go ahead.
Well, no. I get that. I get that. But in our community, to bring it full circle, not just in relationships, in our community, we can't get anything done together because we don't trust each other. And see, this is the thing. In other communities, for some reason, people can come from different households and come together and trust each other enough to move towards one vision. Now, I'm not saying that they like or love each other. They just trust each other enough to get the job done. And I'm trying to figure out in our community why we can't work together as one. Where's the music coming from?
I'm playing the music. Go ahead. Just
okay.
Dead.
I hope that that's not copyrighted material, because if it is,
look, boss. I'm over here handling this. I know what I'm doing over here.
Turn the music on, man. Go ahead, man.
That's gonna be one of the things that gets the video shut down.
Don't you think? Hold on. This is what we talking about, y'all. We try to say
just say whether or not the music is copywritten or not.
I don't got to. I played it, didn't I?
Man, this ain't church. This ain't church.
I don't know whether it's copywritten or not.
I don't like podcasts. This ain't church. You don't need an organ. Derek, go ahead and talk, man. Let's get back.
No, I'm just saying. So I mean, back to Big's initial question, in a relationship, he didn't say a relationship between a man or a woman. He just said in a relationship. That means a friendship. That means a business relationship. That means an intimate relationship between a couple. how can we get anything done if we don't work as a team? If you got more than one individual that want to work towards something, if you don't work as a team, how is that being accomplished? It's like digging a ditch, right? I'm on one side and I'm throwing dirt out. You on the other side and you throwing dirt in. How are we gonna ever dig that ditch? We have to be on one accord. Seriously.
Right, true.
It's not gonna happen if we're not. And I think our community has to figure out how we can come together and work together to achieve a common goal. And take all the egos out and stop worrying about who's doing what and just focus on what you should be doing and moving forward. And the next person should focus on what they should be doing and moving forward. And then maybe we can make some leeway.
Well, that question was posed from Scoop, Herman Mayfield Lawns, which is a good question. It really is. I would say I'm gonna repeat it. And just so y'all know, at the very top of this chat, there is a link if you guys want to get an opportunity to pop in and have your comment or your question heard live on the show. Pop in. You just need to be somewhere where it's quiet, camera on, with some lights. It ain't got to be like the way we lit, but we need to be able to see your face. I need to be able to see who you are. But the question was, I'm just gonna reiterate the question: how important is working as a team in a relationship? How important is it working as a team in a relationship and accomplishing goals together? And I think everybody kind of hit on some key points, because relationships are, it's not just always a romantic relationship. What we in right now is a relationship, and Raymond keeps making it toxic between the four of us. But
are you going to continue with the point you're making, or are you going to throw shots?
I'm gonna throw shots if I want to.
I see.
If I want to, that's what I'm gonna do.
I think getting to the root of your point would be better than doing that.
I think the point is, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you know that the intention of the relationship is to move it forward in whatever direction, whether that's business, whether that's romantic, whether that's friends or whatever. If that's the case, then there should be some leeway given. And just like just a few minutes ago, and this is a prime example of how things can go awry, like Derek said, women say they want men to lead, but they won't allow them to lead. As soon as I started playing some music, Raymond going to get on me.
See, there we go.
I'm giving it. This is a prime example of what happens.
Not a prime example. That's just you feeling in your feelings about that.
I'm not,
don't
bro.
Worry about that.
If you can, this is a podcast. Let's move forward.
Let's hold on, man. You're throwing
what Derek said. Get out your ego, right?
No, it ain't about getting out ego. It's about just. It's unnecessary to do that. Just go ahead.
It's not unnecessary. If it's a lesson in the conversation,
it's not a lesson.
Let's change gears a little bit.
There you go. Change gears.
Go ahead,
This is about unity. This is about us building other people. This is about a whole different problem. Go ahead, Derek.
So this weekend, interestingly enough, I watched this movie called Civil War. It came out earlier this year. And what caught my eye after just reading what the movie was about, it was about these journalists that were going around and filming a civil war that was taking place in the United States. Different regions of the country were basically turning on the government. I thought this was pretty interesting, so I watched. And, one of the first scenes in the movie was the president actually speaking to the people about how he felt about the Civil War and, what he wanted to happen. It was crazy, man, because the first thing I thought about was just what was going on right now with our presidential election. And if the wrong person ended up in office, how would the United States react? And what could possibly happen if a civil war took place right now? Like, it was crazy, man. Normal people had soldiered up and were attacking the United States military. And towards the end of the movie, I got to give a little bit of it away. The military pretty much got fed up and turned on the presidential office.
So like a mutiny.
Brother, it was crazy. The whole thing was crazy. Now, the journalists, all they wanted to do was interview the president. And they set off on a journey to interview the president because they knew, they didn't speculate, they didn't act like they thought, they knew that he would possibly probably be assassinated. It was crazy. And all I could think about, I'm gonna be honest, was a particular candidate. All I could think about was Donald Trump. Because the president in the movie was talking reckless. Kind of like that, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. So my thing is, what if something like that took place in the United States today? What if the people just got fed up and there was nobody governing who the people were actually fighting? There was one scene where you could tell that there was these two guys and they were pretty racist, and they basically flexed on these journalists and killed two of them just because they didn't feel like the journalists were for their cause or with them.
But you know what's so funny? I had a couple of people who told me I needed to watch that movie, so it's right up my alley, and I still ain't got around to watching it. I don't think the movie's too far-fetched. Always movies are written on things that they could see could be possibilities, as well as some of them is maybe agendas they want to happen, just like The Purge and all these other movies. These people, as people, we need to have open minds and see, just don't get caught up in your feelings. And I think as people, we sound like that is really easy to happen because most of us are divided, and that's the whole shift of the game, to keep us divided and to keep us in our emotions. And where they'll use religion, they'll use politics, they'll use genders, they'll use whatever they got to divide us. And that's how we always stay conquered, because we'll never get on one accord and we'll never get along. Long as they can keep us fighting each other and at each other's throat, just like Big and Raymond starting Big coming at Raymond in the middle of the podcast, just to throw stuff off. But I mean, no, we just
mean that was a teachable moment that we could have had, but because of somebody's ego,
hold it.
I ain't trying to bring this back up.
But let me say this. Let me say this. Regardless of the difference I have with any one of you, y'all still my brothers. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that in my mind that there aren't things that I say, oh, you know what, I don't agree with that. You know, it's several things that we've talked about that I particularly don't agree with, but it doesn't negate the fact that we're brothers, and I don't mess around and get in my feelings about that. You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna keep pushing regardless. I mean, yeah, we're gonna huff and puff, but you know, at the end of the day, we'll just be like, hey, whatever, man, it's whatever, and then keep it moving.
But that's keeping understanding.
Hey, but I do wanna Big Row just posted. Civil war has already taken place. I would like him to elaborate on that. We do know that there was a civil war in the United States, but I'm saying that in terms of now, I'm trying to figure out what he meant by that statement.
It's probably a lot of different ways.
I mean, more of the. I think it begins with social media, because what we're all divided by our beliefs or our thoughts about what we think about life. You know, wherever our opinions are drawn to, that's where we're going to go to. And most of the time it's things that bring up the passions that are in ourselves internally, you know, whether it's Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, whatever the case, it's always going to surround where our passions lie. And that's why it's always a divide. You know, it's always going to be divides. It's going to be, all you got to do is just think about the sections of things that people believe in or the things that they draw to. And that's what's going to be the thing that pushes them away from one another.
Okay, so let me just say this, and I understand that we may be in some form of civil war, but if it actually happened and the government broke down, what group of people do you think will be affected the most?
The weakest group, the
And who
most
is
That's
the
true.
the
That's true.
weakest,
That's true.
and the most unprepared,
That's
and
true.
that's going to be your first level is going to be your people that are too frail, which is going to be your elderly and you're sick and you're disabled. That's going to be the first, and that's what I don't want to go down the conspiracy theory road with Chris, but we have heard of the conversations being had about population control
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the things that have been happening that we have seen happen, and who's hit first: the weak, the elderly, the disabled, and those are the ones first level. Then secondly, it's the people without uh, resources. That's going to be your next level with the least amount of resources. So think about this: just like when there is tropical storms or things that come in, right? A lot of people, we get forewarning now because of news media, and it's going out and it's all over the place. So we get fair warning a lot of times when big storms are coming, and the people with resources can do what? They can leave the area, right? The people that don't have resources, what we saw in during Katrina in Louisiana, a lot of those people could not leave, and that's why the what happened impacted them the way, because they didn't have the resources to get away. So that's level 2, right? Number 3 is going to be the people that may not be sick, disabled, old, or frail. They may have resources, but they're incompetent of being able to care for themselves in an environment where it's not grocery store ready. Okay, those will be the next. So your survival list will, that's why you see all these things coming up with people with these what they call they used to call them comrats or MREs, which are it's like it's dehydrated food. You add water to it, and then you can have a meal, and it'll keep you Raymond can talk about MREs from being in the military.
Yeah, I could, but I look at it like this. It's all about how prepared you are once that point in time comes, because like you said, it's based off of how much resources you have to be able to stock enough stock to say for however many years. But ultimately, you have to look at the greater picture, because at some point in time, you're going to run out of supplies. So the real survival comes when you can live off the land, totally free of any kind of storage stuff that you have. Because one thing you're gonna need always is the ability to grow food, the ability to slaughter livestock, and the ability to gain and prepare fresh water. If you don't know how to do all those things, you're not gonna survive. I don't care how much you stock up,
So
because at some point in time it's gonna go.
this is a great conversation. So with that being said, shouldn't we all be looking at being self-contained? Because
Mm,
literally, okay, so let's go back a couple of years. 2020, COVID hits. Um, Toilet paper shortage. You couldn't get to the store. I mean, just crazy things were going on. You couldn't get water from some stores. I mean, it was just a small dosage of what could take place, and we're sitting here acting like it can't happen. Oh, it can happen. It can definitely happen.
What you
that's
just
surface
but
level.
look, what you just called, because I'm the conspiracy, that was the first wave of testing. That was the first test to see how people react. It was the first test. Most people took it as COVID and whatever. That toilet paper was a test. Even here, they made a statement about a gas shortage, and people ran to the gas station like they was crazy. Two people was trying to put gas even in plastic bags and spilling it, running, and they had to get on TV and says no gas shortage. These are experiments just to see how people react. And even when we talking about, survival, and Raymond hitting all the keynotes about, the land and all that, if the soil is poison, which sound so crazy to me, because I had this conversation with my boy Dion. We had this conversation all the time. How is the soil poison when constantly grass and weeds are growing there? Why they ain't dying? If it's poison, shouldn't nothing grow if it's poison? But that's what they saying to grow. You can't plant anything because the soil is poison. But then shouldn't it? How in the world is grass still growing? I constantly got to cut the grass if the soil is poison. But these are the things, because they coated the seeds and they want control of us going to them, as well as, if the soil is poison, next you can go fishing. But if the water's poison and the fish is poison, then you out here hunting, because most of us do not, like me. Now, fortunately, I grew up with a granddad and a dad who had a garden. Fortunately, I had a granddad and a dad who took me fishing. Fortunately, I know how to survive and do these certain things and put fertilizer and tip the land. But most Black men around our age and even way younger don't know nothing about this. They don't know how to go out there and hunt. Some do. They don't know how to tilt the land and grow their own vegetables and fruit. Some do.
So I'm going to challenge.
Majority might know how to fish and crab, but
I'm going to challenge the panel real quick, because I feel like it's already happening. And what I mean by that is, if you look at all the GMOs that we have, the food that's being cloned, and you can't say it's not being cloned, because we have all these people in the world, and I'm trying to figure out where the chicken come from, where all this chicken come from.
I want to look.
And hold up, Chris, and other food are coming from. So if you think about it right now, this stuff is already happening. It really is. We're just not paying attention. And we're not believing. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I want you to say that Caro put something out there, and I wanted to verify and talk about that, because he did put a good statement out there about Trump dividing and tearing up relationships. And it's kind of hard for us to talk about that, because I wanted all of us to come back up here and talk about the electoral vote. Because, I want to get into this, but I don't want to get into this because it's going to be hard unless you bring in the facts and showing people the Constitution and showing people, because they only go by what they're hearing, what they see on TV, and we get caught up in our emotions. I'm going to keep calling it out, and some people going to catch it and some people ain't going to catch it. Stop watching the WWE presidential elections. Start getting caught up into the actions. Start getting caught up into the actors. This is a show. It's going to be televised. The way we divide it is to separate us with emotions. Can't now one man control every person on this planet. Ain't that man got that type power? We can do what we the people. This, like Kennedy got his head blown to smithereens just was saying, we the people. We the people. Again, go back, listen to that footage. We the people. Until you start giving your dictation to somebody that's treating you like a child and putting two what am I'm trying to not call them out of order, but calling two morons in front of you, or a lady moron in front of you, and making you choose from them, then you just a little child. We are grown men here, and grown men make grown men's decisions. Don't let somebody tell you how to eat, how to sleep, and what you can do and run your life. Can't no man stop me from eating or living. He can put me behind bars and lock up my vessel, but he can't control my mind. He can't control my spirit. So, like, don't nobody have dictation over you unless you bow down to him and give it to him. Point blank. Don't. So, like, I'm just saying, don't get caught up into this politics and like this president, like you looking for a savior, like he gonna be Jesus. Y'all gonna elect Jesus into the office and he gonna save you. Stop looking for a man to do that. And that's why I get caught up in this press. We keep waiting on somebody to come along, and fix the country. The country gonna get fixed because of you. Stop waiting on somebody to do something that we the people can do. Stop waiting on it. It ain't gonna happen.
I agree, Chris. I think in our community, unfortunately, we get caught up in what I want to call fads. You know, yeah, I'm not against a woman president. Yeah, I'm not against a black president. I'm not against any of that. But I talked about this once before. I just want the best candidate in place. It doesn't matter what color they are, whether they're female or male. I just want the best candidate in place. And we lose sight of the real issues because we get caught up in the hoopla, like you said, the show. And we don't pay attention to what's really going on. We turn a blind eye to the things that are important because we get caught up in the show. And I understand it's a beautiful thing to see women excited about another woman of color running. That's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, if you go to a circus, you get excited about seeing clowns, don't you? But you don't want no clown running the United States, do you? And that's my whole point.
I think there's a portion of us that loves the show.
He got to throw that
a portion of us that loves the show because the only way that we can get our drama on is if we tune in, because every day you getting that point where what's next? What are we gonna see? What is it gonna be? What's gonna turn our heads and make us say, wow? Because some folk love to hear and see drama.
You know what this presidential race reminds me of sometimes?
I just want to say this. All I want to say is this. Suppose we stay out in the country, way out in the country, no TV, no radio. We just on our land, living, got prosperous fruits and this and that. But I know you say it in here, but just suppose we say that and we don't give a rest tail about who's the president, because he never came out here to our farm. He never came out here to our land, and we just living normal and happy. Will we care about who's running the country? Because ain't no rockets landing on our soil, blowing us up, and tanks running across the grass and all this, because we're not caught up into what they painting a picture on their agenda. We just caught up on living our life. And that's all I'm trying to say. We are giving power to these people because we're looking at these people like they're going to either mess the world up or they're going to, and I just can't see this man right here going to mess the world up. I believe there's going to be more problems after this, because even if he don't become the president, if he get killed or whatever, how they want to arrange this little arrangement to go out down, whoever next, it's always going to be somebody to take his place. Always. Trump is name. It's going to be more Trump.
Look, you said something. Now I'm trying to.
Well, why you think?
I need to get back to
the I was gonna say that on I was on TikTok and I seen this Caucasian guy. He was talking about how the different effects of what's going to happen if the race goes either way, how it's going to affect Black Americans. He was like, okay, well, if Kamala wins, then it's going to be the fact that, all right, well, no, the white Caucasians don't want a Black woman to beat a white man, you know. Mm-hmm. And then on the flip side, if he wins, Trump wins, then they're going to be like, okay, well, it's going to be whatever agenda that's going to be to, you know, deal with us as a people and how that's going to affect us. So they're saying either way, we're going to be dealing with the negative effects of the election, regardless of where it goes.
Because it's almost split right down the middle. Well, from what we see, what we hear, what we feel like, but when we're not gonna know until that election day, and there's a lot to question with both of these candidates. And Derek was saying one thing that, you know, he just want the best. We can't even see the best because the country won't allow but two parties to stand and represent. I mean, there's multiple parties out there that's got viable
We
candidates,
the people.
but they won't get an opportunity. And we the people need to speak up about that, because
We the people need to
that is the
and
impact
that's why I say it's up.
beyond party.
Now, Derek, you had started before we got into that comment.
I just wanted to go back because you made a valid point about how if you lived on a farm and
that's what
the president. So I wanted to dive back into that. In the movie Civil War, they came upon this town in West Virginia, and when they rolled up in the town, people were walking their dogs, people were shopping. Yeah, like nothing was going on. So the journalists went in the store. They were like, y'all know a civil war is going on? And the girl that was in the clothing boutique that they went into was like, yeah, we know. We just don't participate in that. I thought that scene was pretty dope. They literally did not participate in the Civil War. They had their own community that was thriving. This group of people came together, created their own community that was independent from the United States and was thriving. I was like, wow.
Now, unless you Amish, there's another point I was wanting to make. Unless you Amish, you have access to all communication because there's cell towers throughout the whole country. So there's not a place that's unhindered or
that's beautiful, Alexis. Thank you for sharing that.
By the internet and those internet or those cell phone companies. You're always gonna have access to the internet. So whether they have a TV or not, there's a potential cell phone that's gonna be around that someone is gonna use, and someone's gonna be able to access the World Wide Web and see everything that's going on. So, like I said, unless you don't care, unless you in that village where the leader says, "Hey, we not have no communication out with the outside world."
I totally agree, Dion.
It's always gonna be access.
Now you had asked some questions there before we went that route. What was
No, I think I addressed everything I was saying. I just wanted to go back and talk about the point that you made about the farm, because I remember seeing that in the movie.
I'm talking about before all that. When I got into that, because I was reading with Ro, I just didn't want people to get caught up in the Trump, man. Trump is, he's messing up the country. I'm like, I don't care about Trump, man. Trump is not my God. None of these presidents are my God. Man, since I've been on this planet Earth, I ain't seen a president did anything to change my life. He ain't come shake my hand, put $1,000 meal in my pocket, gave me 40 acres and a mule. I watch him every time during election time. He go out here and make a bunch of promises, and they don't do none of their promises. And I'm not insane to keep repeating insanity over and over. I don't care what they're offering. I mean, if you're a tyrant, I'm pretty sure it's some real henchmen and all these civil seals, whatever you want to call them. They'll take care of if it's a real issue before they allow themselves some real true Americans that go with all these weapons, and they buying ammunition left and right and going to the firearms while we sitting around watching TV. I'm pretty sure they gonna handle some situations if it's going out of control before we could even say, "Dang, what's going?" Boom, they already own it. They already on it. So I don't even get caught up into that old.
It boiled down to we the people. That's
I don't even get caught up into the WWE. I don't even watch TV. Watching it all day, man. It make people like zombies, man. It puts you in fear. It puts you in anxiety. It puts you in all this crazy stuff because they watching so much stuff, and they're watching war live on TV. They're watching, everything live, man.
I'm
constantly live, and it's just like, what's that jank? What Jim Carrey was in the Truman Show. It's just like the Truman Show, where everybody's walking around living the Truman Show, and they just doing everything, staging everything, putting stuff in your face, putting wars all on TV. Everybody's living a Truman Show and don't even know it. They are being filmed 24/7 living the Truman Show.
So let me say this, and this is something maybe that you've thought about, maybe you haven't thought about, and I don't know. I'm going to ask a question, and maybe somebody on the panel knows. During the Olympics, is there a peace treaty in place because if you notice, while the Olympics are going on, you don't really hear a whole lot about any issues going on throughout the world. Like all these countries come together in this certain place and they're competing against each other, and there's really no major issues going on anywhere that's talked about.
No,
So
I mean there
it
are
makes you,
there
well,
are.
no. I'm just saying they're not focused on. And then the countries that have the issues going on, whether it's Korea, Israel, or whatever, at the Olympics, and they're performing with other countries. You've seen not girls, I'm sorry, women from the United States embracing women for other countries in swim and gymnastics. And these are countries that have issues going on prior to the Olympics with other countries. So it just makes you stop and wonder, like, what is really going on? Is it all a show?
Well, I was offended with the Olympics when I seen the breakdancing part. I was so offended.
Man, here we go. Here we go.
I didn't want to see nothing else no more. After I seen the breakdancing, I was like, this is a Paul. I was like Mike Tyson. This is ludicrous. I was going off. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
I'm assuming because we weren't represented in that particular.
I don't know what that was.
That particular event.
I don't know what I saw. I saw somebody doing a curly, like Mo learned curly when he get on the ground and walk around in a circle with his head moving around funny on the floor. I seen that. That was, and I'm like, what the world, man? It was crazy. It was ridiculous.
I think in the coming years, I'm pretty sure we'll be represented in that, and we'll show them.
That is crazy that we weren't represented in that. When breakdancing, we know where it started. That is crazy.
I missed the breakdancing. I heard it from my daughter.
But I know where they come from. I seen it.
But when you say who are we talking about?
You didn't miss anything, big.
You ain't missing nothing, man.
So there's a comment I'm gonna pop up from Wayne Jenkins, and he says Civil War is one of those movies that should be looked at in different perspectives. Some see the issues with what is transpiring, but just as many will see it as blueprint for destruction. And that's a valid point, because that is the same thing that happens in these horror films a lot of times. How people get murdered, how, people get these ideas from the films that are actually being presented to us and programming us, because all of this stuff is programmed.
Or
gang banging, all that's been programmed in us, man. They anything they magnify on television and let us see, we just emulate. I mean, that's always since we were little. Kangos, Adidas, from Run DMC, everything, Gazelles, Bombers, everything we put on, man. Everything when Uzis came out, guns, whatever tight stuff you see on TV, man. If we never seen this, we never do this. So it's like, TV is the biggest running programs, and you're looking at it as just a television, but it's programming your thoughts, your ideas, what to eat. You see a commercial, what new shoes to go buy, or you see an actor or a rapper, or anything. It's programming you 24/7. We pick up slang words, they say. When you see somebody on TV say something, get somewhere, somebody say something, slang in this song, next thing you saying, "What's up, Ward?" And I ain't even from that was certain place, you know what I'm saying? But we start just repeating everything, regurgitating everything we see and say. We just pick it up from somebody. And that can go from the neighborhood, that can go all the way to like what you see on TV. So
we secretly root for the bad guy.
Yeah, I hear you, Chris. With your Nike shirt on. I hear you.
We secretly root for the bad guy. See,
just do it.
Know why we secretly root for the bad guy?
Just do it. Why?
Because we want to see him win. We want to see him get over. We want to see him succeed, because the good guy, okay, well, yeah, the good guy, he goes in, he's trying to tell you, hey, do the right thing, do it right, be right. And you're like, man, okay, yeah, I hear that. But the bad guy is like, oh yeah, he the one that's always out there doing something that, hey, it may be looked at as, oh man, that's wild. That's wild. man, he doing this, bam, bam, bam. He always in something. He always in the midst of something. But the good guy, he's going the legal route, the route that we know to go that route. And in your normal life, you might do that, but secretly, I want to do what that bad guy doing, because that bad guy is the one he seemed like he's always got something going on and always in the thick of things. So we want to be that bad guy in that inner self. But we know that the best thing to do is the right thing.
We just had
crazy.
The funny thing, me and Raymond had this conversation the other day, and we were talking about just issues with everything, and we were talking about bad and good. And it was even talking about women like bad guys and all this type stuff, because a good guy that does everything, he becomes boring. But a bad guy cussing you out, you don't know what to expect. He comes in, he might screw your sister, do this and do that. He's just a bad dude, and it's so adventurous. They hate it, but they love it because they always keeping there. You don't know if he's gonna go to jail. You don't know if he's gonna go upside the head. They love that tape. It's just that bad energy. And
this is a perfect example. I wanted to throw this in there. The Boys. You know what I mean?
But look,
I got a real life perfect example.
Look, look, this is what I realized. The world is backwards. Everything in this world is backwards.
But that's exactly what I was going to say.
The whole world is backwards. Good is bad. Bad is good. It's like the more is everything backwards. So it's like when I look at this world, when you too good to me, I know it's bad. When you do certain stuff, it's like you got to read different. You got to look at people totally different. It's just like you got to see the agenda, because this world is screwed up. Everybody backwards. Guys acting like girls acting like it's backwards. This whole world is backwards.
And I don't necessarily
everything is backwards.
But let me just say this. Charleston White, somebody that has been in the news for the last year heavily. What people don't realize, this dude has been out here speaking and working to try to get legislation passed for years. But the thing is, and he said this on his podcast with Cam Newton, people weren't listening when he was wearing bow ties and walking around and trying to get things done. But when he started using the B word and calling women out their name and talking crazy, now everybody knows who he is. So that's a prime example of what you're talking about. You want to try to get your voice across and try to do things for your community in a positive light, and nobody's taking you seriously. But when you get out here and act and show the buffoonery, then everybody wants to listen. And that's sad.
That's always.
That's sad.
That's always. They like anybody who gospel and do drama. They love it, man. They can't. It's like a tickling ear. They got to hear what that person getting ready to say and do next. Because and the funny thing, you mentioned that's why they love Trump. Everybody who hates him love him, because they can't stand him, because they're waiting. They got to see they got to open and got to see news. They got to hear what Trump getting ready to do. They love that. They psychologically, they don't even know that they love this stuff. I hate them, but they love it at the same time, because they always got to see what he getting ready to say and do. They got to keep up with Trump said this. Trump got the agenda 25. Trump, everything they got to be in it. And that's that bad. That's that performance, that bad guy syndrome. They got to watch the bad guy, like Raymond. Everybody, they don't know, but they rooting for. You just said it. They rooting for the bad guy.
I think it's just a squeaky wheel, man. The squeaky wheel.
They're rooting for the bad guy without them knowing it. Go ahead, Big. You said what?
Are we gonna address this that comment right there?
Not true.
I want her to pop in. I want to hear.
I think that was
link and argue your point.
Alexis asked.
Not true. Maybe we started in our childhood and things.
Yeah.
No, I think that was going back when I was saying most girls like bad guys. Because there was something in Raymond, which I was just making an example. It was just that people love bad stuff, and it was just the whole example. And I think the little piece I said, Alexis just texted in on that, but it ain't nothing going towards nobody. It was just showing that people sometimes love bad stuff. without
Let me just
knowing.
say,
And I ended up using it with Trump.
I mean, as we get older, I mean, I know when we're younger, like let's address that. As we're young, we're taught good and bad. We're taught what's right and wrong, you know, and that always shapes our character and our psyche growing up. As we get older, the lines between good and bad start to blur. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that we don't know, but I'm just saying it blurs because of our decision making as we do things. You know, you might say, all right, well, I'm going to do this or that in regards to maybe say let's go back to relationships. Let's just say
Hey Raymond, let me interrupt right here right now.
Yeah.
If anyone in the chat or Alexis want to pop in and argue your point, Alexis, the link is at the very top. At the very top of the chat, there's a link. Click it in. I'll bring you in. All right, go ahead, Raymond. Continue.
All right, so when you're young and you dealing with women or girls, let's say that, and I'm just saying this mean teens or early 20s. You might go by your big brothers or somebody that's older say, well, you know, hey, look, you know, I used to run a few women like that, you know, and you fascinated by the thought of doing that, and you might take that up and say, yeah, I'm gonna go out here, and you know, you find somebody, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, let me go ahead on and see what I could do, how far I could go with her, you know, and in the midst of that, you know, you're not thinking about whether it's right or wrong. You're just thinking about, hey, look, I might want at this point in time. So that's why you know, it's you know, you not thinking that, you know, or about right or wrong. You just think about what you want at the time. Now, being young after the fact, if you hurt the person, then you'll think about that, whether or not you were right or wrong about it. As you get older, then you understand the real right and wrong of and the repercussions of what happens. So you think a little more as you're doing it, and you say, hey, look, I might not want to do that because I know what might happen in regards to that or as a result of it.
Gotcha, man. But look, y'all, we at the hour mark. I think we should wrap it right there. Come back next week with some more conversations for the people. With that being said, you already know what I'm going to say. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
Not the music late. We got to work on your time tonight.
Exactly. You should have been on point with that.
You were on point.
A little slow at the hand, man. A little slow at the hand.
There we go.
Slow
all right, y'all.
hand.
This has been a Get Established show for August 19th, 2024. We appreciate y'all checking in with us. Closing it out. We'll see y'all next week live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at this same location. Be here and be ready. We enjoyed you. Have a great weekend.
One and done.